Hi there, my name is Krista, and I'm here to tell you about my Swift, a knitting bag from TomBihn. It is full of awesome. Let me show you how much awesome it is full of. It has a scarf, it has a vest, it has a giant shawl, it has another giant shawl, and it has a knitting bag attached to it that has projects in it. It has a book, it has a mug, it has my wallet, it has some knitting gadgetry. And it's awesome even without all that stuff in it. Okay, so that was just an example of how many things you can fit in this knitting bag. So if you're a crazed knitting designer like I am, or just an average knitter or an enthusiastic beginner knitter, you can fit a lot of things in the bag. And it has a lot of details that are specifically designed for knitters. And that's because TomBihn worked in conjunction with Knitting Magazine, which is an online knitting magazine that's been around for ages, and they're fantastic. But he was working with them and getting feedback from a lot of the users about what sort of features their ideal knitting bag would have. And as a result, voila, we have the Swift. So, things I can tell you about that all Swifts have in common. All Swifts have a button tab at the top to hold it closed, so there's no zippers at the top for your knitting to get caught in as you're working on it. The Swift is designed with a nice stiffened bottom, which means that it'll sit on the floor right beside you and stay open and upright, so that if you're sitting at a stitch and bitch or just some knitting gathering or at home in your living room, and you can just be pulling the yarn nicely out of your bag and it won't fall over. It comes with, let me unclip this, a yarn stuff sack. Now, the very cool thing about yarn stuff sacks is that, again, they're designed just for us. They have carabiners. So what that means is I can have my knitting project on the go. This is a hat. And if I'm feeling like I need the extra security to make sure my yarn ball isn't going to go falling out, I can run my yarn through the carabiner, cinch the strap back up closed, drop it on the floor first. But let me get that. Cinching it up closed, I can use the clips. Clip. White background so you can see it. There we go. Clip. And connect it to one of the handy dandy connection points in the Swift, which means that I can be walking or sitting or talking or riding the bus, having my bag safe, having my knitting out, and knowing that when I stand up and move away, my knitting is going to come with me and not fall on the ground in the bus as I walk away, get shut inside the bus doors, and then a block later the bus driver is honking at me because there's a lot of yarn trailing down the sidewalk. Yes, this has really happened. Okay, so no tragic bus incidents involving the TomBihn yarn stuff sack. Now, the other cool thing is these come in multiple sizes, and they have clear bottoms so you can actually see what project you have in each one. I'll actually be showing more of those in a different review, but for now, one of them comes with your Swift, and it's lovely. I will put that aside. Other things I get to show you, I'm going to unclip a few more heavy things from in the bag. So, giant organizer pouch. This one has a paperback book in it because when I stuff my bags full of things, my paperbacks tend to get a little chewed up. So, not with those. It has my keys attached to a key organizer fob strap thingy, which is full of awesome. On one side, that has my really huge wallet and my phone. And on the other side, I'm going to quickly zip this closed so it doesn't dump everything upside down. It has, that is one of the new rulers that comes with every bag. And this is, let me flip that over and show you, one of their clear fronted organizer pockets that has everything I need for knitting. So that has needles and stitch markers and a tape measure and a thing with which to cut extra yarn. This doesn't come with the Swift, but it's really easy to add it onto your purchase when you're shopping online. Okay, so you may have noticed the pockets. These are two fantastic, very well designed, very thoughtful pockets that sit inside your bag. They only go about halfway down, so all of your sweater projects can still fit in the bottom, and it's quite wide. See? Huge. Wait. Sorry, the lighting in the yarn shop isn't ideal. There we go. Very wide bottom. Pockets go about halfway. Pockets are clear fronted, and they flip up, which means if you're digging for something in the bottom of your pockets, you don't have to look deep down into a dark bag. You can just flip it up, you can reach in, you can get really easy access to everything in your wonderful Swift, and it's fantastic. Okay. So you can tell I'm a little excited about good knitting bags. Just a little bit. All right, more details that every bag shares. They have 2 very nicely padded straps. These sit very nicely on your shoulder. I'm not a shoulder bag person. I tend to wear messenger bags, so I actually have a Swift. I was given it maybe 4 years ago by the owner of this lovely yarn shop in my background, and it didn't get a whole lot of use just because this isn't how I wear my bags. 2 years ago, I became a full-time bike commuter. So my bike is a cargo bike, which means that the back wheel is moved back by about 15 inches, and then I have giant pockets in which to put stuff. And all of a sudden, this became the best bag ever because I can load it up with all my knitting gear and my wallets and dump it in and click my cargo bag shut and off I ride. So it's been seeing more use in the last 2 years than it has before that. I still love it. It also works really well just in terms of being like a weekender bag. I can fit a second set of clothing and underthings and toiletries, head off on a ferry for a quick overnight jaunt somewhere lovely with a sweetheart of mine perhaps, and it fits everything that I need. So, cool bag. Okay, special things about this one and only bag. Fabric. Okay, so this is their ballistic nylon. I've been reading up on it on their website just so I could give you a little more information about it. It's made in the USA. It's tougher than what they could find overseas. They're really tough on quality control to make sure that their colors are all excellently done, so they're nice and consistent, no streaking. Cordura is a similar fabric, but there we go. What the ballistic nylon offers is a really nice smooth weave. So what this means as a knitter is if you're wearing a wonderful, perhaps hand-knitted sweater, and you're carrying your shoulder bag, that smoother fabric against your skin, against your sweater, isn't going to be causing a lot of abrasion and rubbing, so less pilling from your bag. This is a good thing. Okay, the other cool fabric is, they call it Volcana, so it's a rubber that has hemp kind of bonded to it, and it's fantastic. It looks really neat. Give you a close-up. Looks fantastic, kind of has that rustic handmade look. They do address this on their website. The rubber has a little bit of a faint smell, and I was actually one of the testers that when they were first looking to bring the fabric in, they sent scraps of it to many of us, and the things we were supposed to do were testing it for abrasion against our clothing, and also just say, how do you like the way it looks? So, of all of my students and me, we loved how it looked. We found it wasn't a big issue for abrasion. It had a bit of a strong rubbery smell, but what I found with this bag when it arrived is that smell has decreased a lot, and I think what's happened is that because it's being around the factory more and being through their manufacturing process right in Seattle, not overseas, it's pretty awesome. What that's done is given the rubber a little bit more time to air out, so there's a very faint smell. It's not too bad at all, but if you are at all concerned about it, they are willing to send you a swatch so you can sniff for yourself, and I think what you'll find is that it's not a big deal at all, and it's well worth it. So it comes in fantastic colors. It's a wonderful thing. Like all things that TomBihn makes, it's incredibly well designed. There are 4 places where you can hook on things like your key sets. There's one on this side. There's another one on that side. There's 2 in each corner. The corners are actually quite deep, and my mug, this is one of the leak-proof travel mugs, does a really good job of not dumping over on top of all of my knitting in the bag. So far, knock on wood, wouldn't be the end of the world. I can just hand wash the bag if I need to and rinse out all my knitting. You know, that happens. It is, in a nutshell, wonderful. I like it. I think you will too. If you look in the background, you see I have more bags to review, and you can find those videos online fairly soon. I'm very interested to hear if you have any feedback about my reviews. Please get in touch. My website is ChristaKnits.com. You can email me, Krista@ChristaKnits.com, or talk to me online in the TomBihn forums or on their Facebook page. All right, have a good day. Talk to you soon.